Hello again, my friends. I am back and I am in the hot tub again because what better place to make a video? It is the beginning of day 18, if I'm thinking correctly. It might be day 17. You know it's good when you forget what day it is. I'm doing okay. Ups and downs, dramatic mood swings are my last few days. That's just how I would describe the effects I'm going through right now. Just being without weed, experiencing life without weed is just odd. When you have gone literally your entire adult life and most of your teenage, no, not most, pretty much your entire teenage life as well, high, just 24/7, cutting that out altogether just is a dramatic shift in mind state and personality and world perspective. It's intimidating. It's also a little fun. It's also a little scary. It's also, it's part of the process. Yeah. I don't know what I'm gonna think or what I'm gonna do on a daily basis. It's kind of crazy when genuinely every single day I am having a different thought process and view of the world, and there's just no stability in my brain. Thankfully, I'm in a place where I'm just kind of going with the flow with that. It's harder to stay positive and be okay with that on days where my mental is skewing more towards the negative. But I think that slowly but surely the positive mindset is starting to outweigh the negative in most cases. 2 days ago when I made my last video, I had a really bad day. I had a panic attack at work. I cried at work for the first time. I'm pretty good at keeping my composure in situations that are out of my control, but some dude yelled at me for something that was totally not something that I could have prevented. And it just triggered my brain to erupt. It was bad, but I got through it. I went home, I relaxed, and I didn't smoke any weed. I also didn't drink any alcohol, which I've been doing a very good job at slowly but surely cutting that off as well. But I'm not addicted to alcohol, so that's a whole different thing. I just need to I need to be hyper aware of alcohol, as I've said in one of my other videos. It's important to make sure that I never get addicted to alcohol. Yeah. But, it's kind of fun just not knowing what every day is gonna bring. It's kind of fun not having a set, dulled mind state that is just controlled by bong rips, It's, every day is a new adventure. I wanted to talk about... Oh, I dropped my camera. Hi. Everything's all good. It's all fine. I wanted to talk about two things in this video, and these are things that I feel like I'm probably going to take some time to make a more extended video about in the future. One of them being how strongly exercise has helped me through this, and how much it's helped me in the past through quitting nicotine last year. I would go so far as to say that exercise has saved my life. In particular, I am talking about bouldering. I've always wanted to boulder, but I was always kind of too afraid to do anything where other people would see me be active, just out of total anxiety and paranoia of not fitting in and not feeling like I'm athletic enough or anything. But around the exact same time I quit nicotine last year, January of 2024, I think. Yes, no, 2023. Last year was 2023. January of 2023, about that same exact time, I decided, you know what? If I'm going to cut out this incredibly difficult addiction, then I probably need to replace it with something that is a more healthy addiction. Fucking plain. That's what bouldering has become for me. I see it as essentially me being a kid on the playground, just going fucking crazy on the jungle gym or whatever the fuck. And man, it is so much fun. For context here, I never exercised before last year. It was just not a priority to me. I was a very idle individual. I would spend the majority of my time in my room playing video games, smoking weed, just doing nothing with my time, really. Nothing productive, nothing that would help my health or future. And once I started bouldering, holy fuck, it was just impossible for me to stop. And this is a really good thing, because every single time when I was quitting nicotine that I would have a difficult day, that I would experience cravings, I would just go to the bouldering gym. I would go climb for an hour or two, and my mind enters a fucking zen space. Like, it enters the most pure flow state possible that is just extreme dopamine release, and it is not unhealthy dopamine release. It is incredible. For context of what bouldering did to me physically, I went from like extremely underweight. Like, I'm 5'10" and I was edging around 100 pounds at the time, and I managed to gain about 25 pounds in the last year and a half. I mean, I'm still pretty damn skinny, as you can see, but I went from 100 pounds to 125, and that is all because of bouldering, because the muscle that I've built through climbing, as well as having to eat better in order to accommodate the level of stress my body is placed under through climbing, it just worked out, you know. And I was always told throughout my like teenage years and my early adult life that, yeah, you like exercise will make you feel better. My therapist would always say this to me. But of course, it's a very cliche thing to say, and when you're depressed and you don't exercise and you don't have the motivation, it's hard to believe that, or like, I mean, maybe I believed it, but it was hard to actually take that seriously and understand how much of a life changer it could be, you know. And it's incredible. It really is. I go to the gym. I try to go 3-4 times a week now. Sometimes I go more because I am a bit more experienced of a climber now, and I feel like my muscles and tendons and body has just adjusted to it, and I'm able to go on a more consistent basis. But even when I started, I made it the intention and made it a goal to go every other day, and it got me through fucking hell. Oh my god. Beginning of last year, I was in one of the worst mind states I've ever been. I was suicidal. I was hopeless. I didn't think I was going to graduate from college. I was ready to drop out. In fact, I did drop out for a term in order to quit nicotine, because I felt like if I didn't hyperfixate on that and focus entirely on the process of quitting nicotine, that I would never be able to do it. I will do a video in the future describing exactly how I quit nicotine, because my video paused. No, it's all good. I feel like the way I did it can help somebody, you know. Maybe it's, yeah, I worked my ass off to quit nicotine. It took over a year and a half of gradually weaning myself off vaping, but the way I did it made it less difficult than cold turkey or anything like that, and I feel like anybody can do it if they put their mind to it, like genuinely. I will say that my strategy really only works for people who vape. I did not smoke cigarettes. I mean, I did like a little bit in the past, but vaping was my issue, and I was incredibly addicted to vaping. But you know, there's ways to make that stop. Yeah, you know, I'm almost at 700 days without nicotine. In January, I will reach 2 years, and while I do still have cravings for nicotine on a pretty consistent basis when I see other people smoking vapes or cigarettes, I have not touched it once. Not a single spickle or anything of nicotine since January of last year. And well, same thing with weed. I can't promise that I'll never have nicotine again. You know, I don't want it. I don't want that. I don't want a substance to control my life. It's the same way that I don't want weed to control my life, which is exactly why I'm doing what I'm doing right now. And perhaps if I make the same amount of length of time with the weed, I'll look back and be like, you know, yeah, I kind of want weed, but look at what it's done for me to quit weed, and that will provide the incentive to not do it. And another weird psychological effect is that I'm obsessed with numbers. So when I see on my like day counter, which I keep a counter for my nicotine and weed and everything, that I'm like 685 days without nicotine or whatever it is, the idea of taking a hit off a vape or having a cigar or anything and resetting that counter is soul crushing to me. I think more so than just the lack of wanting to, more so than wanting to avoid addiction again, I just can't reset that number. I can't. It's a psychological effect of having that number. You know, I cannot put that back to zero. I worked so hard to get it to the number it's at right now, and I'm not willing to go through that again. So I need to do that exact same thing with marijuana, you know? And I know I can. I know you can. I know we all can. So many people are commenting that they wish that they could do what I'm doing. You can. You really can. You just, it's gonna be hell. It's gonna be challenging. It might be one of the most difficult self-reflective moments in your life if you're a young adult like I am, or especially if you're a teenager, which is probably the best fucking time to stop before it rots your brain away and you become content with it. Sorry, small little detour for my cat. This is Nugget. This is the cat my channel's named after. He's a sweetheart. Anyways, yeah. So there's my first little tangent, and my second little tangent is gonna be about travel again. I think I'm gonna do it. I think that I'm gonna treat myself to my 25th birthday. I have never ever spent money on myself for something that I really truly desire, you know. Oh, wait, we have a confrontation going on. That's Luna, she's a sweetheart. Oh, Nugget's bullying Luna. Anyways, yeah, I think I'm gonna probably, for the time being, scratch the Europe idea just because of how expensive it is, and the reality that I really don't want to spend every single cent that I've saved over the last couple of years. And I figured out that I could do like a Costa Rica, Central America, Mexico sort of trip for under half of my saving budget, and it would leave me with half of it remaining, which is still a decent amount to build upon, and it's money that creates a safety net for me in the future. The thing that I need to convince myself about is that, you know, I want to do this in March. I also have a 11-day trip to Hawaii with my family planned, or family, you know, friends that are family, planned in the end of April. So I would have to just not work in March and April, which I can become content with. But that means just making as much money as I possibly can for the next 3 months, and then finding a new job once I return from Hawaii and doing the exact same thing, just saving, hopefully building on a career path. After Hawaii, I'll have that Costa Rica experience, which right now I'm looking at a 16-day group tour through Costa Rica, through G Adventures, and then the Hawaii experience, which is just gonna be like blessing relaxation with people I love. And I'll come back and be like, I'll be zen, you know, I'll be motivated, I'll be happy. This is what I'm telling myself. I believe it too, because every time I go on a trip like this, it fills me with ambition and joy. So I think I'm gonna do it. I just need to stop being afraid of spending the money on it, but I have the money to spend on it, and it's not so much money that I'm making a stupid decision and cutting out all my savings. I have until this Friday to book the trip that I've saved my slot for, that has a really good sale for Black Friday, and it leaves on my birthday to San Jose, Costa Rica. And you know, what better 25th birthday present than to just go on an adventure? I think I'm gonna do it. We'll see if that thought changes in the next few days in my coming videos, but you'll know by Friday, you know? I will know by Friday. The step one is to actually book it, which requires a $450 deposit. And that's the most money I've spent on anything for myself ever, I think. Plus obviously the remaining of the trip, but like the initial $450 is gonna be the first mental barrier that once I pay it, it's balls to the wall, baby. I wanna do it. All I know for certain is that I want to do something for myself for my 25th birthday. I've been through hell the last few years. I've been doing so much self-reflection and self-improvement and trying to cope with life after losing my dad, who was my best friend and pretty much the only family member I had. It's been brutal, but I'm coming out on top. Thanks to lovely people supporting me, and thanks to, I guess, me staying strong, thanks to my therapist, who I was with for 3 years, all of that stuff. You know, just, life can get better. It will get better if you put some sort of effort into it. Depression, mental illness, those things are fucked up and uncontrollable to an extent. But even through those things, I do feel confident that you can try to do things to improve your life. I mean, yeah, I know it's incredibly difficult when you're in that horribly depressed mind state, horribly anxious. I went through the fucking ringer with that. Eventually, you just gotta try, you know? If you don't try, you're just rotting yourself away, and things are only gonna get worse. So, yeah, you know, I believe in people. I believe in the power of self-reflection and the power of, you know, just the human mind to determine what it needs and what it wants, and to use pure will and brute force to get what it wants. At least that's what I'm going to keep telling myself, and that's what I'm going to keep doing. I have another 8-hour shift in 2 hours, and I'm not looking forward to that, but thought I would provide an update before that. I will definitely be doing more videos. I appreciate everybody who's watching these. Maybe if I go on these trips, I'll become a travel vlogger or something, even though the idea of filming myself around other people gives me anxiety, because it's just odd, you know, talking to a camera and not acknowledging my surrounding space. I feel like I've seen so many travel vloggers that do that, and they're just oblivious to their surroundings, and I do not want to be that person. But, you know, maybe I'll figure something out. I also wonder if I should rebrand this channel in some capacity. My channel name is Daniel Firewalker, which is literally my Wizard 101 name from when I was 9. And it's a fire name, dude, but like, I made this channel when I was 9 years old in 2009, and that was the name of it. And the name itself is Nugget the Cat, which has nothing to do with anything other than the fact that I have a cat named Nugget, and it's a good homage to my homie Nugget. But I don't know, if I want to seriously make this like a addiction seizing lifestyle / travel / what's happening with my life type of YouTube channel, maybe I should rebrand. I don't know. I'll figure it out. In the meantime, I hope everybody has a beautiful day. I hope that you can do something today to try and make yourself feel better, no matter what that is. Except for like drugs and stuff. That's not a good idea. You might feel better temporarily, but you're not doing yourself a favor in the future. But anyways, keep on keeping on. I love you all. Thank you for watching. Until next time.